Hey, thanks for stopping by. This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. Hope you had a great weekend. I did. I spent some time cleaning out my closet in my office. It was overflowing. What I do is I typically, when I buy something, I keep the box for 3 or 4 months in case I have to return it. So I had all these empty boxes and other things that I didn't even remember were in there, and I just couldn't get anything else in there. So cleaned out a lot of stuff, and I found this thing right here. This is the Regency WHAMO tin scanner. I think that's how you pronounce it. WHAMO. WHAMO. Kind of like and there was some kind of cleaning cloth called I don't know, who cares? Anyway, this is actually a programmable scanner, believe it or not. One of the first programmable scanners, and it had a very unique way of programming it. So let me zoom in first and I'll show you up close what we have here. Okay, this is 10 channels. You can turn off any of these channels using these switches right here. And for some reason it wants to stick on number 2, so I've turned that off. So it's scanning through there. Down here we have a squelch control, which is pretty soft. In other words, it doesn't have a distinct cutoff, so it's kind of soft. And then we have the volume control. It has plenty of volume. This thing appears to be fully functional. I can't really tell because the frequencies that are programmed in are probably not in use in my area nowadays. So I'm not picking up anything. Over here we have 3 buttons. One is to turn scan on and off. The next one, if you have scan off, it manually toggles the channel. So you can go through each channel manually. And the last one is the on-off switch. Excuse me. Fairly heavy. This thing is pretty darn heavy. Let me turn it off for a second. We'll go to the back. Yeah, this way or that way, I don't know. Okay, here is the 10 programming cards. This is how you program this thing. So let me pull one out here. They just slide in. And there it is. That's the programming card. And the way you program it is you break off one of these fingers. And in the manual, which I was not able to find a manual on the internet. I was really surprised. Actually, I found one manual. It was a website the guy sells manuals, and he wanted like $20 for the manual for this old scanner. Oh well. And I was not able to find one for free. But I did find a Microsoft DOS. Now, Microsoft DOS was the operating system for the early on computers. And this was before Windows. Kind of a rudimentary user, clunky interface. But anyway, I found an MS-DOS program, and I downloaded it and I ran it, and you would plug in the frequency you wanted this thing to be programmed for, and it would tell you which tabs to break off. Pretty cool. So I found that. Then the question is, once you break these tabs off, well, you're kind of stuck, I did find a website that sells these tabs. Unfortunately, they're about $12 a piece each, not for a dozen each. Which would mean if you bought like 2 of them, you would spend enough money that you could buy a used scanner that has a keyboard and you just program it that way. For $25, you can get a pretty good older scanner that has a lot more capabilities than this radio, and it functions a lot better. So this is strictly a collector's item. Plug this back in. And the gentleman that had this before, I think I picked this up either at a garage sale or a ham fest for $1. And he wrote on here when he programmed, he wrote on these the frequencies. And there's a couple in, well, most of them are in the amateur radio band, and then there's appears to be what used to be the old police bands, which are completely gone now, empty, not used, kaput, whatever. So I'm not surprised I can't pick up anything. I didn't find the antenna with this radio, but I got a bunch of antennas that I store together. And so it has a screw-in antenna on the top, and then on the back, it has a plug-in for an antenna here, like this one here, this type of plug. And then I think this is a speaker output. None of these things are marked. I think this is a speaker output. I think this is a 12-volt DC input and the ground right there. And then this is the AC cord, which is kind of unique, so luckily I had the cord plugged in here. And that's about it. I just thought I'd show you this. Kind of one of those unique old radios, kind of basically a collector's item because, you know, like I say, if you had to reprogram and use those cards, the cards are going to cost you, 2 of them are going to cost you as much as a decent scanner. Like, for instance, this scanner here, which is not that old. This is the Radio Shack 404, I believe. Yeah, Pro 404. This is a pretty good little scanner. And I got it off of eBay for $25. No, I take that back. I got it off of Bling, which sells old stuff, new old stuff. I got a new, it was new in the box. It probably had been taken out of the box. I got it for $25. So anyway, this is strictly just a collector's item. I love these old scanners that had these blinking lights. I love that. It's trying to do something. Picking up noise, I guess. And I don't know what's with this thing. The light stays on all the time. It doesn't stop there. That's what's one good thing. So I just keep that one locked out. So anyway, that's the show. If you enjoyed this show, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.